So in 2021, I mentioned Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, and a lot of people jumped on me and was like, no, that can't be real, not that black man, nuh-uh. Then he went to jail, supposedly. Allegedly. I don't use that word. But you know what I mean, right? Because the mugshots and things are not adding up. But anywho, point is, to the world, he went to jail. And that's when a lot of people started waking up like, wait a minute, hold on, time out, flag on the play. That is not what I thought was going to happen. And then the information started coming out from victims and from people that went to the parties and held all these secrets themselves. And then you're like, nope, that sounded like a horror movie, and I thought people were crazy when they mentioned that to me. So we understand now that trafficking is real, is my point, right?
Ron Jeremy, Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rob Saget. Do you want me to keep going?
To me, I'm gonna get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip hop is fine with his behaviors.
The internet is on fire right now, and at the center of it all is a name nobody can stop talking about: Allie Carter. For years, 50 Cent has been hinting, trolling, and outright warning the public that Sean Diddy Combs' polished mogul image was hiding something far darker. Most people laughed it off as classic 50 being petty. But now, with a new explosive documentary making waves, Allie Carter has stepped forward and confirmed everything. It's official. The long-running feud between Curtis 50 Cent Jackson and Sean Diddy Combs has reached a point of no return. And this time, it didn't end with a diss track or a viral Instagram post. It ended with a Netflix documentary, a prison sentence, and a woman stepping forward to say the quiet part out loud. For years, 50 Cent was dismissed as petty, obsessed, and bitter for repeatedly calling out Diddy. People laughed it off. Industry insiders brushed it aside. Fans said it was just trolling. But now, in December 2025, the narrative has completely flipped. Netflix's 4-part docuseries, Sean Combs. The Reckoning is sitting at #1 worldwide, but the real bombshell isn't just the footage or the interviews. It's the confirmation. Allie Carter, the woman who publicly described herself as a so-called party favor within Diddy's inner circle, has stepped forward and confirmed that what 50 Cent revealed in the documentary is real. After the series dropped, Carter said plainly that the patterns of control, manipulation, and exploitation shown on screen matched her own experiences. According to her, the documentary didn't exaggerate Diddy's behavior. It actually held back. The documentary, produced by 50 Cent and directed by Alexandria Stapleton, traces Diddy's rise from the bad boy era to his eventual conviction and 50-month prison sentence on prostitution-related charges. While Diddy was acquitted of racketeering and trafficking charges, the series paints a picture of a powerful figure who allegedly used wealth, influence, and fear to control people around him. Former associates appear on camera describing a culture of silence, intimidation, and loyalty enforced not by contracts, but by consequences. One of the most talked about elements of the series is the alleged existence of recorded footage from private parties. For years, 50 Cent hinted that Diddy documented guests as a form of leverage. In The Reckoning, that claim is presented through testimony, context, and circumstantial evidence. Allie Carter later confirmed publicly that these recordings were real, not rumors, and according to her, they were never meant for entertainment. They were meant for control.
At first, because they wanted the job done. At first, because they wanted their At first, because they wanted whatever they could get out of things. They told me not tonight. And then that changed into, let me help. Let me, I had a couple tell me, let me figure it out. Let me try to help you. And then when they went to help, my pimp came in and handed them a suitcase of money.
Carter explained that people didn't attend these events freely the way the public imagines celebrity parties. She described a system where power dynamics were clear from the moment you arrived. She said participation wasn't always a choice, and leaving wasn't as simple as walking out the door. While the documentary frames this as exploitation of adults through manipulation and coercion, Carter claims that the reality behind closed doors went far beyond what prosecutors or filmmakers were willing to show.
There were babies that were 6 years old, and I'll never forget them just crying, and everybody was just staring at them. Everybody was just staring at each other. Nobody knew whether or not to move. I was freaked out. And I got up and I held her. And they opened the truck and they took her from me. Because they said she was already sick. And they killed her. Her name was Bailey. There are kids in there from Africa, from Mexico. We got to this spot right over the border. They went past these colorful houses. They turned down these dirt roads, and there was a bunch of trucks. And they divvied everybody out like hell. One person, she wouldn't stop crying, so they said that they would just send her off to somebody who was already sick, that had AIDS, that was gonna die soon, because she wouldn't shut up. My pimp smiled at me that whole time because I had straightened up my attitude. I begged for him to take me back. I begged for him to keep me. And I promised that I wouldn't tell the social workers again. I promised that I wouldn't say anything if he just took me with him.
After the documentary aired, Allie Carter didn't dispute a single thing 50 Cent revealed. Instead, she confirmed it all and made one thing very clear: there was far more that never made it to the screen. Carter said that while the documentary exposed a version of what happened, many of the most serious allegations were left out entirely. According to her, media outlets and legal teams repeatedly told her the same thing, that the full truth would be too much for the public to process. She said this was exactly what she experienced during legal proceedings as well, where her testimony was allegedly narrowed and filtered to fit a safer, more controlled narrative, rather than the full scope of what she claims really happened.
One time he locked me in containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying.
Drug trafficking and human trafficking goes hand in hand. Okay? So if you understand what it would be like to take a drug dealer's supply of cocaine, do you think he'd leave you alone? Do you think he's gonna let you live? If he can't find you, don't you think they're gonna make your life a living hell? Because you took their supply. There are people who think that they own my body, my mind, and my soul. They think that I'm their property. And you have witnessed that. Not just for me, but so many other survivors. Cassie Ventura, so on and so forth. But you've really witnessed it for me. So do I honestly believe that somebody will ever leave us alone? No, because that's what we've been trying to tell you. The justice system is corrupt. Who do you think we were yelling at this entire time? Who do you think we were trying to... Who do you think kept MK Ultra as a secret? Bill Clinton apologized in 1993. Look it up on YouTube. Now, if he apologized in 1993, that was going on way before he came out and said, oops, we caught. We're sorry. Do you really believe that they're sorry when he's on the Epstein list? When his picture is painted all over the place? We're not talking about that, though. We're not asking those questions. So he said he was sorry for MK Ultra in 1993.
One of the most controversial moments in The Reckoning is the unreleased footage of Diddy in Harlem shortly before his arrest. In the clip, he greets fans warmly in public, then immediately expresses disgust once the cameras are off. 50 Cent commented that this moment perfectly captured the duality of Diddy's public image versus his private behavior. Diddy's legal team responded by calling the documentary a shameful hit piece and claimed the footage was illegally obtained. Netflix and the filmmakers have denied that, stating everything was acquired lawfully.
But Curtis, people know about this very public, long-standing feud that you've had with Sean Combs. So what brought you to this project?
Well,
Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching the footage? No?
that didn't surprise me at all.
How did you go about getting the footage? And do you know the intent of the videographer? Why?
When you're a reality star, you're so used to being able, you have a camera around you all the time, but when you have that kind of power and everything, I'm going to edit this.
And do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip-hop is fine with his behaviors.
This morning, never-before-seen footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack, King?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning.
Curtis, Alex, thank you so much for the time right now. I'm looking forward to talking about this, and this is something that a lot of people have been talking about for some time now. Alex, let me begin with you. The docuseries is entitled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. How is this one different from the others that have been out there?
Well, I think that the biggest marker of what makes this film or this series different is how much time we took into putting into the making of the film, doing our due diligence to get the right voices, to the table.
Well, this new documentary on Netflix is getting slammed already by Sean Diddy Combs' team, calling it a shameful hit piece.
All right, let's find out more about it. Ryan, Christopher, are there lawsuits involved now?
All right, well, good morning. So 50 Cent's 4-part docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs starts streaming today on Netflix, and already Diddy's team now speaking out. Now, his publicist is calling Sean Combs The Reckoning, quote, a shameful hit piece that's, quote, unfair, illegal, and an unnecessary and deeply personal affront. Now, the trailer for the docuseries shows Mr. Combs on the phone with his legal team saying, quote, we're losing just 6 days before he was ultimately arrested. 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, a Queens native, and Combs are longtime rivals, as Jackson claims that their feud started when Diddy offered to take 50 shopping, which Jackson then took offense to. Now, in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, Combs' publicist noted that Netflix relied on stolen footage that was never actually authorized for release by Netflix or really anybody, adding that Mr. Combs had been gathering the footage since he was 19 years old to tell his very own story. Combs is currently serving a 50-month sentence on prostitution-related convictions.
Allie Carter backed up that claim, saying moments like that were common. According to her, Diddy carefully crafted his public persona while showing open contempt behind the scenes. She described the charm as calculated and the kindness as conditional. When people were useful, they were welcome. When they weren't, they were discarded or silenced.
After a certain point of being traumatized, after a certain point of realizing that nobody loved me for me and just for what I could do, or whatever the fact that it was, what people thought about me when I was a little kid, I was naive like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So after a certain point, I didn't give a damn who did what. I just wanted to be seen. And I know that a lot of people can say, yeah, there's times where a point in your life where you're just like, I just want somebody to give a damn. I just want somebody to see me. and I just want somebody to love me, okay? So I was there a lot because I've been abused. And after a certain point, I went really numb, didn't care. A lot of people that were with me called me a traitor because they felt like I just left. I'd be mad at me too, because I stopped giving a shit about anything. I didn't care. It all just didn't care. When I was out, it didn't. I was a lot, but I'm not healed. Okay, I'm still angry, still really hurt, and we're still not getting anywhere. So I didn't care. Okay, and to be in a room where people promised you the world, at one point you just go numb.
As the documentary climbed the charts, critics accused 50 Cent of profiting from another man's downfall. Streams of his music surged, and his name dominated headlines. But 50 Cent pushed back on that narrative, saying he had avoided Diddy's circle for over a decade because something never felt right. He stated that this project wasn't about revenge, but about accountability, and announced that proceeds would go towards supporting survivors of Diddy, meanwhile, is currently serving his sentence at FCI Fort Dix and is expected to be released in 2028. Legally, his case may be closed, but culturally, it's far from over. Ali Carter's continued statements have reopened public debate about how much power celebrities wield and how often uncomfortable stories are ignored until it's too late.
With this case, these freak-off parties, they're not freak-off parties. There's a lot that happens. There's life-size wheels that people attach children to and spin it and decide who's having what way. There are so many things. There's body cakes, there's party favors, and I'm talking like, you know how you put up a little birthday bag, like when you go to a birthday party, and before you can leave, you can take one of those little birthday bags off the table, and then there's toys and like all this stuff for coming to the party. Yeah, instead of that, there's children. They call them party favors. Okay. I'm really trying to spit this out, but I'm really having a hard time tonight.
Carter has repeatedly said that once she began speaking publicly, her life changed overnight. She claims she faced harassment, stalking, and threats that forced her into hiding. In emotional videos, she described losing her home and living in fear, not because of what she said, but because of who she said it about. She stated that speaking out came with a price that most people aren't prepared to pay. And yet, each time she reappeared online, her message carried the same tone. Gratitude. Gratitude for still being alive. Gratitude for still having a voice. She told her followers that every single breath felt like a gift she refused to waste.
Graduated before my class. I did not leave the state of California at that time. So I am telling you, for some of you, I don't need to say a name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I don't know her. And it's not my place to tell you what else I'm thinking, because I think you already know. It's not my place. I'm struggling and I have enough on my plate. And if you understand that that's not just distracting from the truth, there are children being tortured, limbs cut off so they don't fight back. There are children under your feet. There are children in your face. You'll walk past a survivor and you interacted with a trafficker today. Do you understand the world and the war that we are in, that everybody keeps going back and, oh no, it's not true, and oops, wait a minute, did Jay-Z, is Jay-Z on the news? Is he Rock Nation? Are you kidding me? I liked him. Same thing you said about Diddy. Same thing you'll say about the Beehive. It's the same thing you'll say about Ellen DeGeneres. It's the same thing you'll say about Oprah. What will probably throw you is when you find out that it's the same thing you're going to say about your teachers in your schools.
She also addressed public skepticism directly. Carter said she was never surprised when people called her crazy or dismissed her claims. According to her, disbelief is part of the system that protects powerful figures. She argued that focusing on discrediting victims is easier than confronting uncomfortable truths about fame, money, and exploitation.
I am alive. I'm alive. And I don't know what reality check I needed to like whoosh, up the face, but I'm alive. And I feel like, hey, wait a minute. What am I doing? I've been having those realizations lately. I don't know if it's the years I'm getting on me. By the way, I'm 31 years old. My name is Ali, if you didn't know. Hi. And this is my mama, Shelly. She's white. I know. She's my twin. She looks just like me. I know you're confused. I was adopted at 19, 20 years old as an adult, for an adult adoption, because nobody wanted me. They just didn't want anybody to have me. We're going to talk about that in a second. But a lot of people are trying to say many crazy things, and I just want to come here and talk to y'all because I think you guys can connect the dots. I'm not talking to those who can't get it. You're useless and you're hopeless to our government as well, and they know that. I mean that with all disrespect. You are useless and hopeless. Do you hear me? To the truth of what this war is about.
In later statements, Carter claimed she was initially considered as a potential witness during legal proceedings, but was ultimately excluded. She alleged that her testimony would have expanded the scope of the case beyond what prosecutors wanted to pursue. According to her, the goal wasn't full exposure, but a controlled outcome that avoided implicating others. Ali Carter is no longer speaking from the shadows. The survivor, who says she was present inside Diddy's notorious inner circle, has now come forward to confirm what 50 Cent revealed in his documentary. And, according to her, the truth goes far beyond a typical Hollywood scandal. Carter says these weren't just wild celebrity parties or moments of excess. She claims they were environments built on control, secrecy, and long-term harm, carefully hidden behind music, fame, and power. By confirming the patterns exposed in the documentary, Ali insists that what the public is only now beginning to understand has been concealed for years.
Just took me with him if I could go home. And he did. Me still being stupid, I tried to tell my social workers. I tried to tell them my boyfriend is 27 years old. He takes me to elite parties. He takes me to these things that I don't want to go to. And can you please help me? And they just documented him as a boyfriend. My social worker told me that maybe I needed to just talk to him. Maybe if I just did something right, or if not, just break up with him, that it would be okay.
According to Ali, the damage left behind by these gatherings wasn't just emotional or temporary. She claims people walked away changed in ways they never fully recovered from, while the industry closed ranks to protect those at the top. Now, with 50 Cent's documentary tearing down that protective wall, Carter says the silence is breaking. She claims the same names and behaviors hinted at in the film match what she personally witnessed, and she believes the documentary marks the beginning of a much larger reckoning. What was once whispered is now being spoken aloud, and according to Ali Carter, the truth confirming 50 Cent's revelations is far darker than anyone was prepared to confront. When Ali Carter first began speaking out on Instagram and TikTok, many people brushed her off as just another voice from the fringe corners of the internet. At first, her claims were easy for critics to dismiss, but then her posts took a darker turn. She began talking about hidden systems and secret spaces she claimed were used to exploit people for the benefit of powerful elites. That's when people stopped scrolling and started paying attention.
I've been a party favor at a few parties, and I'm gonna rewind a little bit. After a certain point of being traumatized
After a certain point of realizing that nobody loved me for me and just for what I could do, or whatever the fact that it was, what people thought about me when I was a little kid, I was naive like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So after a certain point, I didn't give a damn who did what. I just wanted to be seen.
Not everyone who had firsthand knowledge of Diddy's world ended up in the final cut of the documentary. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard and someone widely believed to know more about what went on behind the scenes than almost anyone, was noticeably absent. According to reports, Gene did participate during early stages and has publicly confirmed that much of what the documentary exposes aligns with what he has been saying for years. His own statements closely match the accounts later confirmed by Ali, Carter, reinforcing the same patterns of control and behavior described in the film. However, he was ultimately cut from the project due to disputes over payment and creative control with director Alex Stapleton.
What I was asking for was crazy, and they wasn't spending money like that. I'm talking about, you got footage, you got clothing, you got, I was doing footage, I had pictures, all the stuff that I had, you know, you could figure out a way to pay a brother and stuff like that. And then I was telling her about some prices that I've already received.
Despite not appearing in the final version, Gene Deal has made it clear that the core revelations in the documentary are accurate, even if he believes the series could have gone much further. At first, Ali was dismissed entirely, while figures like Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright had already begun exposing what they claimed was the industry's dark underbelly. A young woman like Ali stepping forward was treated very differently. Few people believed her. Even Jaguar Wright initially brushed her off, accusing her of making things up for attention. Critics said Ali was too young, too emotional, and lacked the industry experience and proof needed to be taken seriously, seeing her as a fan gone rogue rather than a whistleblower. That's why Jaguar's own absence from the Netflix documentary later raised eyebrows. Her footage was reportedly deemed too controversial, a surprising decision for a series centered on serious convictions. Jaguar responded by calling the project a mockumentary, claiming most of what it showed was information she had already shared publicly for years.
It's real wild that somebody is actually coming in here to say that I need to go to jail for what? I was in jail. I was in jail when they accused me of what they accused me of last time, and I wasn't guilty of that either. What this is proof of, though, is that somebody in the government keeps allowing me to be set up for crimes I didn't commit. It's wild. It's wild. I keep coming up innocent and don't nobody want to believe it. No, Ali Carter is not telling the truth. She is a fraud, and she's working with an alleged human teleporter named Shelly Carter. That for whatever reason, everyone wants to come after me, but don't nobody want to go after her.
No.
I am very careful. All the time. I have no choice but to be.
Why y'all don't stand up? See, that's the other part that you skip over.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing. See, this is the thing. This is the thing, Grace. This is the thing, Grace. You can't expect people to show what they've never had. In order to stand up, you have to have courage. How could I ever expect a coward to have courage? You know how many people in the industry that I know that know all the things that I know, the same as I know, and the only reason that they mad that I'm speaking out is because they ain't had the balls to do it themselves.
Okay.
It is I'm not calling it a documentary. I'm calling it a mockumentary. That's what I call it.
That's Spinal Tap.
I call it a mockumentary. I feel like this whole thing is mocking me.
In her view, the documentary plays it safe, choosing what is acceptable to stream, rather than confronting the full scope of what she believes should have been exposed. That claim sparked intense debate online. Some viewers believe 50 Cent did the best he could, within legal limits. Others believe Ally Carter was deliberately left out because her allegations were too explosive and too risky. Carter herself has said she doesn't believe anyone involved is necessarily lying, but she believes the truth has been carefully filtered. The public reaction has been deeply divided. Some viewers see Ally Carter as a courageous survivor who refuses to be silenced. Others question her credibility and say her claims require independent verification. What's undeniable is that her voice has forced people to re-examine what they think they know about celebrity culture and power. Carter has repeatedly emphasized that her focus is not revenge or money. She has rejected donations and said she doesn't want red money. Instead, she says she wants awareness, accountability, and protection for people who don't have platforms or lawyers. She has urged the public to stop idolizing celebrities blindly and start asking harder questions. The Reckoning may have been marketed as a documentary about Diddy, but it has become something much larger. It has reignited conversations about who gets protected, who gets silenced, and how many stories never make it to court or screen. Ally Carter's confirmation of key elements in the series has made it impossible to dismiss the entire narrative as fiction. Whether people believe every claim or not, one thing is clear. The silence that once surrounded these allegations is gone. The industry is being forced to confront its past, and the public is being asked to decide who they trust when fame and power collide with testimony. So now the question is yours. Do you believe Ally Carter when she says the documentary only showed part of the truth? Do you think 50 Cent exposed everything he legally could, or did he leave critical voices out? And most importantly, how many stories like this never reach a Netflix screen at all? If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.